Subscribe now and join the journey of survival, only on Rise of the First Humans. 66 million years ago, the world belonged to giants. Forests stretched for miles, rivers roared through valleys, and the skies thundered with the wings of colossal beasts. Dinosaurs ruled unchallenged, Triceratops grazed in herds, pterosaurs glided across golden sunsets, and the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex stalked the plains like a living god. But high above, in the silent cold of space, death was already on its way. A mountain of rock, larger than cities, hurtled toward Earth. It blazed with fire, its surface cracking and molten as it ripped through the void with unstoppable speed. Closer, faster, until the stars themselves seemed to burn. The first to notice were not humans. There were no humans yet. It was the beasts of the land. A velociraptor froze mid-step, eyes locked on the glowing streak that split the sky in two. A herd of triceratops raised their heads in confusion as the heavens burned above them, and far away, a scarred old Tyrannosaurus Rex tilted its massive head and roared into the growing light. The night was torn apart by fire. The asteroid entered Earth's atmosphere, trailing flames so bright it turned night into day. The sound was deafening, louder than any storm, as the air itself caught fire. And then it struck. The impact was a billion bombs exploding at once. The ocean erupted into a wall of water taller than mountains. Forests ignited instantly. Mountains cracked open like glass. The earth itself shook. Shockwaves raced across continents. Dinosaurs were thrown to the ground, their roars drowned out by the howl of the planet breaking apart. The sky filled with fire, ash raining like molten snow. And in a single instant, the age of giants began to die. Subscribe now and join the journey of survival, only on Rise of the First Humans. The ocean boiled. Where the asteroid struck, waves taller than skyscrapers tore outward in every direction. Entire coastlines vanished in seconds. Dinosaurs screamed as walls of fire and water swallowed forests whole. Shockwaves ripped across the land. Triceratops herds ran, but the ground split beneath their feet. Velociraptors screeched as burning ash rained down, feathers smoldering, bodies collapsing into the blackened soil. The earth was no longer alive. It had become a weapon against itself. Forests erupted into firestorms. Every tree was fuel. Every gust of wind fanned the inferno. The night turned red. Stegosaurus herds stampeded through valleys, but the fire caught them. Their massive silhouettes glowed for moments before crashing into the flames, leaving silence behind. The mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex, scarred and powerful, stood defiant against the inferno. Ash coated its jaws, smoke swirled around its body, and still it roared one final challenge into the burning sky. But even kings could not stand against a world ending. From space, Earth no longer glowed blue and green. It glowed red. The mushroom cloud of death stretched across continents, wrapping the planet in fire. And then, darkness. The ash that rose into the sky blotted out the sun. Day turned to night. For weeks, for months, the world was shrouded in black clouds. Temperatures plummeted, plants withered, rivers froze, and the giants that had ruled for millions of years began to starve. A triceratops stumbled through the ash, its ribs showing beneath its armor. It lowered its head to eat, but the plants were dead, the soil barren. It fell into the dust, breath fading. Another giant gone. Subscribe now and join the journey of survival, only on Rise of the First Humans. All across the world, predators and prey alike faced the same fate. Raptors, once fierce hunters, wandered in packs with hollow eyes, their claws dragging in the dirt. They searched for prey, but there was none left to find. One by one, they too collapsed into silence. Volcanoes erupted, triggered by the impact's fury. Rivers of lava carved new scars into the already ruined land, choking the skies with more ash and fire. Lightning split the heavens, illuminating landscapes of black snow and red stone. But beneath the soil, in burrows hidden from fire and ice, the smallest survivors endured. Rat-sized mammals huddled together, feeding on roots and insects. Their tiny glowing eyes reflected both fear and adaptation. In a world where giants starved, the small began to rise. Subscribe now and join the journey of survival, only on Rise of the First Humans. The silence grew heavier with every sunrise. The roars that once shook the earth were fading. Where herds of giants once thundered across the plains, now only stillness remained. A valley lay filled with fallen dinosaurs, bodies stretched for miles, half buried under ash. A young raptor stumbled weakly, its eyes hollow, its legs trembling. It collapsed into the black snow, its final screech swallowed by the silence. The age of dinosaurs was ending, not with triumph, but with hunger and exhaustion. Above, pterosaurs, masters of the skies, struggled against the ash-filled air. Their wings beat frantically until fire caught them. One by one, they spiraled downward, crashing into the barren ground. And at last, the mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex, scarred and powerful, staggered across the wasteland. Once a king, now gaunt and frail, it lifted its head to the black skies and roared one final time. The sound echoed, then faded forever. The giants were gone. Subscribe now and join the journey of survival, only on Rise of the First Humans. But the world was not dead. In burrows beneath the soil, in cracks between rocks, life endured. Tiny mammals scurried in the dark, feeding on roots, seeds, and insects. Their small bodies trembled with fear, yet their minds adapted. While the giants perished, the small survived. Birds too endured, not the massive winged beasts, but the small feathered survivors who found safety in hidden nests. They spread across the empty skies, flapping weakly through ash, building a future where none seemed possible. And slowly, Earth began to change. The ash clouds thinned. The first faint rays of sunlight pierced the gloom. Green sprouts pushed through blackened soil. Rivers flowed again, muddy but alive. Where silence had ruled, the faint sounds of insects returned. Small mammals emerged from their burrows, blinking in the pale light. They scavenged, they nibbled, they dug. They carried their young in trembling arms, teaching them to survive in a world reborn. From weakness came strength. From fear came adaptation. From survival came legacy. Subscribe now and join the journey of survival, only on Rise of the First Humans. Millions of years would pass, forests would regrow, the skies would clear, the crater would remain, a scar carved deep into the planet, a reminder of the night the sky fell. But the story did not end there, because those small survivors, the mammals who hid in darkness, who fed on scraps, who adapted when the giants could not, carried within them the seed of the future. From them came every mammal that would ever walk the earth. From them came us. The asteroid ended the age of dinosaurs, but it also gave birth to a new age, the age of mammals, and in time, the age of humans. Not the strongest, not the fiercest, but those who adapt, survive. This was the night the sky fell. This was the day the world changed forever. This is Rise of the First Humans. Subscribe now and continue the journey of survival.